Wagons have long held a soft spot in the hearts of automotive enthusiasts, especially those who value practicality without sacrificing style or road manners. In the United States, wagons have become a rare breed, often overshadowed by crossovers and SUVs. But in Europe, the body style lives on, and not only that, it's quietly evolving into something that could appeal to the electric vehicle crowd as well. One of the most underrated examples of this transformation is the Peugeot E-308 SW, a compact electric wagon that first hit the scene in 2022, when the electric wagon market was still in its infancy. Now, as Peugeot prepares a refreshed version, the E-308 SW is getting ready to reassert itself as a contender in the evolving EV space. When it originally debuted, the E-308 SW was one of the only affordable electric wagons on the market. If you were a buyer looking for an EV with decent cargo space, sharp design, and European flair, but without the luxury price tag, your choices were incredibly limited. That made the E-308 SW something of a pioneer. With a decent real-world range and clean styling, it managed to fill a very specific need at a time when most EVs were crossovers or sedans. Fast forward to 2025, and the landscape has changed dramatically. Now, buyers have options like the Audi A6 e-tron Avant, BMW i5 Touring, and Porsche Taycan Sport Turismo. These models are larger, faster, and far more expensive, but they've also normalized the idea of an electric wagon as something people actually want. That's what makes the upcoming facelift of the Peugeot E-308 SW so interesting. Spotted recently wearing Peugeot's signature crystal effect camouflage at a Stellantis R&D facility, the updated model doesn't appear to have gone through radical changes, but it's clearly getting some attention. From what we can tell under the camouflage, the front fenders, hood, and overall headlight shape haven't changed dramatically. But there are subtle upgrades that suggest Peugeot is refining its design language. The grille seems to have adopted a vertical bar layout similar to the facelift 2008 SUV, and it's likely that the new model will also feature updated daytime running lights. If so, expect the current single light bar to be swapped for a triple claw setup, a visual nod to Peugeot's growing family identity. The rear of the E-308 SW appears to be even more subtly updated. There's little to suggest a major redesign, but the rear light signatures may be tweaked, and the lower bumper may get a new contour, small changes that together could modernize the appearance without changing the overall character. These visual updates are expected to also appear on the combustion-powered versions of the 308, both hatchback and wagon, making the entire lineup feel more cohesive and up-to-date. Where things could get really interesting is under the hood, or rather, beneath the floor. The current E-308 SW uses a 154 horsepower electric motor drawing from a modest 54 kilowatt-hour battery, giving it a respectable range of around 254 miles. That's more than adequate for most daily drivers. But in a market where EV performance is quickly becoming a priority, even in non-sports cars, Peugeot may be preparing to give the E-308 a bit more punch. Other Stellantis EVs based on the same platform, like the E-208 GTI, now offer significantly more power. That car boasts a 276 horsepower setup, while the A-Bar 600E features a 237 horsepower motor. Either of these powertrains could be slotted into the E-308 SW, potentially creating a performance-oriented GTI version of the electric wagon. That possibility alone could raise the E-308 SW's profile considerably. It would be the first time Peugeot has brought true performance into its electric wagon offering, and while Americans might not see one in local showrooms, the idea of a nimble, stylish EV wagon with performance credibility is the kind of thing enthusiasts here dream about. While Stellantis has no immediate plans to bring Peugeot back to the US market, many of the platform and engineering decisions it makes ripple across brands like Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeep. So an upgraded E308 could indirectly influence what we see stateside in the future. Beyond performance, the update to the E308 SW is also about staying relevant. EV design is evolving quickly, and buyers are starting to expect more range, better tech, and stronger performance even from affordable models. For Peugeot, updating the E308 SW isn't just a refresh. It's a necessary step to keep its foot in the game as the European EV market gets more competitive. A revised model gives Peugeot a chance to remind buyers that it was early to the electric wagon party, and it still has something unique to offer. For American audiences watching from afar, the E308 SW is yet another example of the kind of practical, stylish EV that just doesn't exist in the US right now. Between the dominance of crossovers and the slow adoption of wagons in general, cars like this often stay locked behind the gates of Europe's domestic market. But that doesn't mean they're irrelevant. On the contrary, they show us what's possible and what consumers in the US might want, if given the choice. As more people prioritize design, range, and interior space in their EVs, the idea of a sleek electric wagon makes more and more sense. Peugeot's E308 SW, especially with more power and updated tech, is a reminder that electric cars can be practical, fun, and good-looking all at once. It may not wear a luxury badge, but it checks a lot of boxes. And in a world where EVs are starting to look the same, it stands out in the best way. If this is what the next generation of electric wagons looks like, it's time for more automakers, including those selling in the US, to take notice. Peugeot might not be in America today, but its ideas might help shape the EVs we all drive tomorrow.